Okay, so for the next part of this engine build, I was going to put the piston onto the crank which we trued up. So the first thing to do really is to measure the piston clearance. Now, to be fair, I had a bit of a head start with this. So this is the barrel that came off. The barrel's absolutely spot on inside. It was the main bearings that had seized up, and the conrod. The piston was fine, but while you're doing this job, you might as well replace it and replace the little end bearing and everything like that at the same time. So I've measured the clearance on the previous piston, and it was a Wiseco piston of whatever part number. So I've ordered the same one, knowing that the clearance is the same. But so normally when you get a piston, so this is a Wiseco, you get it in a nice little bag. It comes with its little wrist pin and the piston clips here, and so it actually tells you on the side of the box what the clearance should be. So on this one it says it should be 0.51 mil. So it's a very, very, very small clearance. You also notice on the piston that there's an arrow. The arrow on the piston points to the exhaust port, or the front of the barrel. Another way of telling which way around the piston should go is that there's usually a cutout here. So this cutout signifies the inlet side of the piston. So as the piston comes down here, as the piston comes down here, the piston goes up and it exposes this port here, and it allows the fuel in the air mixture to enter this chamber here. So we've got to make sure that the clearance on the piston is correct. So I'm just going to pop that inside the barrel there, and I'm going to find a feeler blade of the right size. Now, to be fair, I haven't got a feeler blade of 0.051, but I have got a 0.05, and you'll see that feeler blade goes in. And my next increment is 0.06, which is this one here. And that feeler blade will not go in. So although I can't be exact, I know that 0.05 is okay and 0.06 is not. So that is definitely the right size piston. The next thing that I need to do is I need to work out which way round the piston is going to go. So we have one side of the crankcase here, and this is the clutch side. So this conrod here, this crank here, this would be the clutch side, and this taper side would be the flywheel and the stator side. So that would go into the other side of the crankcase. So it will go in this way. So I need to make sure that the piston goes on that way. So with a few things here, so I'm just going to leave the crank there. I'm going to move that barrel out the way. And I'm going to put the first clip in. They're always a little bit fiddly, these things. But if you just try and use a little screwdriver or whatever to prise it in without damaging the piston, of course. Now obviously the other side is actually harder to do because we're going to have the wrist pin inside as well. And the other thing I'm just going to do, I'm just going to go and get a little bit of 2-stroke oil, and I'm going to lubricate the little end bearing. So a lot of people will tell you that you don't really need to do this, but personally I prefer it to have a little bit of extra lube on it the first time it fires up. It's not going to cause any problems, so I'm just going to tip a bit on the bearing. That should be more than enough. So I'm going to put the little end bearing inside the top of the rod. Again, just being careful that I'm going to get everything in the right way. So I know that this side is my clutch side and this is my exhaust side. I'm just going to slide that over there. I'm going to slide my wrist pin through. Sometimes they're a bit tight. Because I've got it in the wrong way. With such a small engine and with small parts and everything, sometimes it's difficult to see the little clips. And that's just going to line up and it's just going to slide. Should slide all the way through relatively easily. I'll push it with my screwdriver, and then I've got my other clip to put in. Once you've just got it past the lip, it should just snap into place like that. There we go. One piston on my crank, the right way round. Job's a good one.